Just how are summer festivals cleaning up around the world? Well, that's what Medina is here to talk about. She's the founder and publisher of the environmental newsletter, Our Daily Planet, and adjunct professor at Georgetown University. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Rachelle. It's great to be here.
Good to have you. So, as we know, obviously, summer festival season is now upon us. But globally, give us an idea of just how much waste is really produced by these sorts of events.
It's really astonishing how much waste they produce. People leave behind things like tents, 22,000 of them at the last Glastonbury Festival. 500 tons of greenhouse gas emissions are emitted by an average festival, and 132 tons of food are left behind. So all those things take a toll on the local environment. It's like a small city gets together and all of a sudden there they are, and there isn't really a system in place to get rid of it all.
And we've certainly seen at least the Glastonbury organisers trying to sort of chip away at this by limiting single-use plastics and reusable items. How much of a difference does that actually make, given the scale of the problem?
Well, it makes a huge difference, and it's a great way to teach people also about their impact overall. So not only is it better for the environment when they're at the festival, but all the people who are there who, instead of using plastic water bottles, bring their own, then take those same things back to their homes, and it actually has a ripple effect that's much bigger than you would even think, because it's hundreds of thousands of people at each one of these events.
And even though this is one step, do you foresee a day where festivals like Glastonbury will essentially ban a lot of these plastics altogether?
Absolutely. A lot of the countries where these festivals are held are already moving in that direction. Here in the U.S., there are certain states that are starting to ban plastic items like straws. And in places like Europe, they're already just trying to wean themselves off plastic because Europe's put bans in place. So it's only a matter of time. This isn't an if or a potential issue. It is going to happen. It's just a question of when and how quickly can we get there. And the generation of people who attend these festivals are the perfect ones to actually educate about this issue and help them, because they want to be more sustainable in everything that they do. So they're ready and willing to be, to change their ways, to not bring things and just leave them there. They just need help.
Now, I've volunteered to clean up after a festival before. It is not for the faint of heart. It's pretty disgusting afterwards. So what are some of the regulations that perhaps either are in place or that you'd like to see in place to really help people become more responsible about sorting their waste or taking their rubbish with them?
Well, I think one of the most important things is to try to get people to bring back out anything they bring in. And you see that in a lot of national parks, and there's similar sorts of gathering places. So that's a really great way. Another thing is bring along a reusable bottle. That's hugely important. A lot of these festivals take place in the summer. People get dehydrated. You don't want them to get ill and not have the water that they need. But the festivals don't want to sell those bottles because there's so many of them. In 2017 at Glastonbury, they sold 1 million plastic water bottles. If we can eliminate that, that's a huge number.
Now, are there any examples of countries, I know that you mentioned Europe, are there any examples of countries that really have a better handle on managing some of these large-scale events when you do have such an influx of people?
Well, there are places where that's happening. Things like the Super Bowl here in the U.S. There are organizers that have taken it upon themselves to really improve the sustainability of these events. The U.K. and the EU are far ahead of the U.S. in terms of banning plastics. They've already set a deadline. So it's only a question of time, as I said before. And some states, some localities are much more aware, but we need to do a better job of recycling in general, because even if we can reduce the amount of single-use plastics, it'll be really tough to eliminate it for at least some time into the future. So we also need better recycling programs, and that's something that everyone is working on, and we're just not there yet.
And it's hard because it's something that really does come down to human behavior. Obviously, it's a lot easier to just, throw your rubbish on the street than take the time, sort out your waste. Are there any innovations that are at least trying to make this easier for people so that they go beyond awareness to actually implementing some of these changes?
Well, there are soda companies that are now very aware of the amount of waste, and they provide packaging so that you can bring little bits of the flavor that you want to put in your water, so that you can not only have water with you, but you can have good tasting water with you. So some of the people on the leading edge are the soda manufacturers, like Pepsi has just come out with a new line of products, and they're starting to implement those everywhere. So when people get used to having that water bottle with them, it's much easier to take it along with you when you go someplace like a festival.
All right, thank you so much. Great to have you on.
My pleasure.
Monica Medina there, founder and publisher of Our Daily Planet and adjunct professor at Georgetown University.